रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम खुशामदीद एक और एपिसोड में हर ओन वे में। और आज मैं इन कॉन्वर्जेशन हूँ विद डॉक्टर सारा सईद खुर्रम। शी इज द को फाउंडर एंड चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर फॉर सेहत कहानी। सेहत कहानी किसी तारुफ के मोहताज नहीं, इट हैज रेवोल्यूशनाइज्ड द हेल्थ केयर सिस्टम इन पाकिस्तान। और डॉक्टर सारा इज अ यंग एस्पायरिंग एंटरप्रेन्योर। इन्होंने बेतहाशा अवार्ड्स जीते हैं एंड द लिस्ट ऑफ अवार्ड्स इज राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू और इट गोज ऑन एंड ऑन। बट सम prominent ones are that she has won the APTECh Young Entrepreneurs Award for Sehat Kahani. Her work was featured in BBC documentary. She has also won CRDF Global, Ashoka Changemakers, ISIF Asia, the Unilever Sustainable Living Young Entrepreneurs Award, and the Unicef Global Goal Campaigner Award 2016. Dr. Sara, what an amazing, amazing idea and how it revolutionized the healthcare system. कितना कैसा आपको फील होता है when सेहत कहानी की बात आती है तो?
Assalamu alaikum, Bisma. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be talking to you. I think it feels, I feel very proud. At the same time, I feel very humbled. I was 26 years old when I started the company. I was a doctor with no business background or acumen. But I think I learned everything on the road. I had a daughter while I created my company. I completed a postgrad degree while I was creating my company. So a lot of things I was able to conquer, and I think a large part of that motivation was to be able to create Sehat Kahani and to grow it. So definitely I feel very proud of myself as well as my team who joined me in this journey and scaled it to this level.
How did this idea came into being Sehat Kahani ka?
देखिए Bisma, I think there are two very big issues in Pakistan in terms of healthcare. सबसे बड़ा issue है कि we are a large population, fifth largest in the world, and half of our population, almost 100 million people, they never see a doctor in their lifetime. मतलब वो किसी nurse को, किसी dispenser को, किसी quack को तो दिखाते हैं, but उनको doctor को दिखाने की facility नहीं होती. On the contrary, Pakistan में around 250,000 doctors हैं, जिसमें से एक बहुत बड़ी तादाद over 80% female doctors की है. Unfortunately, बहुत सारी female doctors graduate करने के बाद काम नहीं करती हैं. They give up their career and settle down as homemakers. Sometimes it's their own decision, but majority of the times they're forced to make a choice between their career and the family. This is called the doctor bride phenomena in Pakistan, or the doctor bahu phenomenon. Now, women working after marriage or responsibility is a problem in a lot of professions. But medicine में ये इतना aggravate इसलिए होता है क्योंकि women make the majority of the medical work. So जब बहुत बड़ी तादाद female doctors की काम नहीं करती है, it ultimately lowers the amount of working doctors that are available to see patients. तो पाकिस्तान में in actuality सिर्फ 90,000 से 100,000 doctors हैं जो इस 220 million population के लिए available हैं. उनमें से भी एक बहुत बड़ी population है जो urban areas में काम करती है. 85% of our doctors work in urban areas, leaving very few doctors, only 15% for the rural areas. So as I was going through medical college, I realized the doctor bride phenomena was happening to a lot of my peers. When I went to do my house job in Civil Hospital Karachi, which is a big tertiary care hospital, I saw कि उसका नतीजा ये होता है कि a large amount of patients that come to tertiary care hospitals in big cities come with diseases that could have been handled at a primary healthcare level, but because they couldn't find a doctor, their issues aggravated to a tertiary care level to a point कि हम उनका ख्याल तो कर सकते हैं लेकिन cure नहीं कर सकते. You can manage it, but we can't cure them. Ultimately, the quality of a patient's life is affected. So when I got married, I decided to pursue my studies and I started my residency, but I had to give up because I got pregnant. And while I was pregnant, I started doing consultations in a community clinic just to keep myself busy. When I had my baby, I had to shift to a new city, Lahore, and there I couldn't work at all because I had a new house, I had a new baby in a new city. I couldn't leave her at anyone. She was very small. And that is when the doctor bride phenomena hit me. And I fell into postpartum depression. I think at that point, I started doing on-call consultations for the same clinic that I used to work in Karachi, because at that time, they couldn't find a doctor to replace me. और वो consultations पहले हमने phone पे की, फिर हमने video पे शुरू की, और वहाँ से एक concept built हुआ कि अगर एक घर पे बैठी हुई doctor एक दूर दराज इलाके में consultations कर सकती है, For this large majority of doctors who give up their work after marriage, why can't we connect all of them to patients across Pakistan using telemedicine? An idea was very rudimentary. I started applying in startup competitions. I got some grant funding when I started applying because the idea clicked with a lot of organizations. I traveled to Nepal and took part in a competition of 10 countries, and we won the first prize. So the primary idea was to create clinics in low-income communities where patients can walk in, and through nurses, they can be connected to an online doctor. And we would teach a software to the nurses, and they can be an intermediary between doctors and patients. But as we grew forward from 2018, 2019, we realized कि health सिर्फ गरीबों का मसला नहीं है पाकिस्तान में. Major cities में रहने वाले लोगों के लिए भी health care एक बड़ा issue है. Quality of healthcare, affordability of healthcare एक बड़ा issue है. Accessibility for women, older patients, बच्चों के लिए एक issue है. So then we launched a mobile version of our platform as well, which is our Sehat Kahani mobile app. And it allows any kind of user to connect to a doctor with the help of a smartphone. और एक चीज जो हमने अपने क्लिनिक से सीखी थी in 2 years वो ये कि जब patient walk in करता है clinic में and they instantly connect to a doctor through a nurse, that is the aha moment that a patient values. We created the same kind of experience on the app. So Sehat Kahani today is the only app in Pakistan that connects you to a doctor on a video call within 60 seconds via an instant consultation option. And as we created the app, COVID hit in Pakistan. And because we had the platform available, we got the opportunity to partner with the government. We got the opportunity to partner with a lot of corporations. People took it for their employees. People started downloading the app for their family members, for their parents back in Pakistan. And that is when the real boom for Sehat Kahani happened. In 2020, when the company just took off and grew 380% in a year. And today, alhamdulillah, we service individual consumers, corporate users. We have government projects with our clinical chains. And the company has grown from our 60, 70 employees to 350 employees now. So it has been a massive growth for the last 2 years.
Dr. Sara, you mentioned that you were juggling so many things, but did any time that you felt that, whether I'll be able to do this? I'm also, what I'm, putting at stake. I have a daughter, and then maybe later after sometimes I may regret that I was not a good mother to her. I was not a good wife, and I was not even honest to myself, I was not fair to myself. Did you ever fear that? And even that this idea will succeed or not?
Haji, definitely. I think this is called the imposter syndrome, and obviously there's a lot of mother's guilt. और ये बिल्कुल मुझे बहुत दफा होता है. I won't lie of it. I won't lie. I won't say कि नहीं होता. I think I'll talk about mother's guilt first. I think there are a lot of people who tell you that your spending time with your kids is important. Absolutely, it's very important. But I feel that quality is very important rather than quantity. Also, I think you need to be happy within yourself to become a good mother, a good wife, and a good person at the end of the day. If you're frustrated internally, that frustration is going to come out on your children, on your husband. So I have a very strict work-life balance. I have a set period of hours that I would work in office. I would be home by 5. I do not have a late night social life. So all my time after 5 is of my children. I take them to all their classes. I take them out. I do dinner with them. I make sure I drop them to school. And as your kids grow up, I think that work-life balance settles itself because half the day they're in school. So kahin na kahin you adjust on a daily basis. But sometimes there are days that your kids take preference on your work. There are also days sometimes when your work takes preference on your family, when you have to be there for something. And I think you need to make yourself understand. What I tell myself is I have 2 daughters. तो मैं सोचती हूँ कि जब वो बड़ी होंगी तो क्या उनको एक ऐसी माँ दिखनी चाहिए जो पूरी जिंदगी मेहनत कर रही है और अपने लिए एक नाम बना रही है और एक काम कर रही है जिससे लोगों को फायदा हो रहा है. क्या उनकी सेल्फ एस्टीम उससे मोटिवेट होगी? Definitely. They would grow up seeing a working woman and they would see it as a normality. They will also see a household जिसमें एक औरत काम कर रही है, उसका husband उसको support कर रहा है, उसके in-laws उसको support कर रहे हैं, उसके parents उसको support कर रहे हैं. So they'll also see that this is very natural for a woman to work because यहाँ पे बहुत guilt किया जाता है औरत को जब वो काम करती है. बच्चे कौन देखेगा, घर कौन देखेगा, husband कौन देखेगा. But I feel that women can have the inherent ability to multitask at all times. I think the other question that as an entrepreneur, do I often feel that less of myself or ill-confident? Absolutely. There are days when you have failures at work and then you feel that is it worth it or not? Then there are successes and those are the days you feel happy about it. But at the end of it, I think the vision that me and IFAD have for Sehat Kahani is that we need to make primary healthcare more accessible in Pakistan. Every day, the work that we're doing is contributing towards that. So it's not just the work that we're doing, it's also the opportunity that we're creating for other female doctors. It's also the empowerment that we're bringing in healthcare. So all small bit of our work counts.
Absolutely. और जितना आपने revolutionize किया है, you may pave the way for females who are just trying out, who are rotting. I think that is remarkable, that is commendable. But listening to what you are saying, how do you juggle so many things? I mean, कैसे करती है भाई?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of management on a day-to-day basis. I plan my day out to a T. Everything has a time. Everything from my kids waking up to their nap times, to their sleep times, to my office hours. मैंने एक चीज देखी है कि लोग अगर आधा घंटा लेट हो जाते हैं मीटिंग में तो उनको फर्क नहीं पड़ता, बट मेरे लिए वो आधा घंटा बहुत कीमती है, क्योंकि मेरे लिए द डे इज बीन प्लान्ड आउट टू अ पॉइंट कि आधा घंटा इधर उधर मीन्स डिजास्टर फॉर मी. It's a lot of support as well. I have a whole family around me जो pick and drops के लिए available है, जो बच्चों का schedule manage कर लेती है. Then my husband is very supportive. But at the end of the day, I think every day when I lie on the bed, I plan my day out for the next day. Also, I don't let failures take a toll on me. So everything that's happened in a day, for example, कोई बहुत बुरा दिन गुजरा है काम पे, the next day when I wake up, I always wake up with a feeling कि यार अच्छा अब क्या करना है? How do you solve it? So I by default have become a solution seeker rather than a problem seeker. कि यार कुछ भी हो गया है, and except death, everything has a solution in life. And you will find that solution today, or you sleep on it and you find it tomorrow. And I've seen it कि when you start finding solutions, कुछ ना कुछ निकल आता है. तो एक दूसरी क्वालिटी है जो मुझे अपने बारे में, आई थिंक वन थिंग दैट आई हैव लर्नड ओवर लाइफ इज द अटेंशन टू डिटेल, कि मैं बहुत डिटेल में देखती हूँ हर चीज को. सो आई हैव द एबिलिटी टू प्लान थिंग्स एंड एग्जीक्यूट थिंग्स with a lot of depth and detail, and that saves me a lot of mishaps and problems later on. Plus, I think I've created a very well-balanced system in my house as well as on my work, where I've identified people कि अगर मैं किसी दिन available नहीं हूँ, who is going to take my place, who is going to replace me at a certain meeting or an event or at a campaign. So I've identified those people as well, or time to time उनसे favors लेती रहती हूँ, and then a friend circle who's there to help at a lot of times.
Amazing. Achha, so you are by nature a person who delegates, who trusts people, because if you're trusting friends and family with your children, I think you're a person who trusts and who delegates, who doesn't want to control everything and keep everything centralized. That I could figure out. Is that so?
So I was not that person. I was a control freak by nature. I'm a Capricorn. Capricorns are known to be control freaks, but I've learned over time to delegate and conquer together. So in terms of my children, there are 4 or 5 people that I know that can take care of my children. My parents or my husband's parents or my husband are few people that I can rely on. Then at work, there are few people. So I've learned with time, you also grow as a person. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हम इस चीज को वैल्यू नहीं करते लाइफ में कि everyone changes. No one stays the same. The Sara that I was at 24 is not the Sara I am at 35. There are a lot of things that I've learned. There are a lot of things that I've unlearned as well. आप इतने सारे biases के साथ grow होते हैं जो आपकी family में होते हैं या social circle में होते हैं. हमें बचपन से सिखाया जाता है कि गोरे रंग की बड़ी value होती है. This is a general concept that people add on you. Beauty is somehow connected to fairness. At some point, you realize growing up that no, it's actually not so. I mean, everyone is beautiful in their own sense. So there's so many things that you learn and unlearn in life. And I've also unlearned a lot of things. And one of them is being a control freak and controlling everything my way. Yes, I do have an attention to detail. So I do give a lot of feedback and a lot of critique to my team. But then also, I've also learned to take favors and ask for help and ask for feedback when needed. I'm not a person who कहेगा मैं सब खुद कर सकती हूँ. I'll end up calling the person who I think is the best. I'll say कि यार मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है, मेरी मदद कर दो. So I won't make my ego come in the way, which is something I learned कि बहुत सारे लोग ये चीज नहीं करते, वो कभी फोन उठा के कॉल नहीं करते कि यार मुझसे नहीं हो रहा, मेरी मदद कर दो. एंड आई थिंक मैंने जिसको भी कभी कॉल किया है जिंदगी में, ईमेल किया है, मैसेज किया, मुझे आगे से हमेशा जवाब दिया है कि हाँ क्या चाहिए बताओ. So you just have to make that connection with the other person, which is something you also learn with life.
Yeah, yeah. Because, as women, like we say, we have a lot of inherent qualities, and one of them is to be a superwoman, to be master in all the fields. So asking for help is always a no-no, right? It's a sign of weakness, a sign of failure. So if you do that is really superb. I think people need to learn that from you as well. And we will definitely, if we get a chance, we'll definitely talk about that in some other session. But Dr. Sara,
one more thing that I'll add here.
Sure.
एक चीज जो मैं I studied in a convent, I'm a traditional family. एक चीज जो बचपन से हमें सिखाई जाती है as women, especially in middle class families, is to be a people pleaser. कि आपने किसी को ना नहीं बोलना. और मेरे लिए जिंदगी में one thing that I've unlearned in life is that you don't have to say yes to every situation. It is okay to say no to someone older to you as well. So I think one thing that I really pride myself into is कि मैं when I see something which is not worth my time or not good for my company, I can now say no much earlier than I used to before. And I think ये बहुत बड़ा मसला है कि हम पाकिस्तान में बात को घुमाते रहते हैं और ना नहीं बोलते. One thing that really saves my time now and allows me to prioritize on important things is the ability to say no and not care about what the whole world is thinking about it.
Really nice. I think again you learn with time, and especially जितना आपने busy रखा हुआ है, अगर आप इस स्पीड में ना नहीं कहा जाएगा तो बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा. Because when you're married, you have kids, उनके भी मसले होते हैं, उनके schools में भी कहीं जाना होता है, कोई parties होती हैं, फिर आपकी अपनी family होती है, आपके अपने in-laws होते हैं, and saying no is the hardest thing. Especially managing that. You talked about schedule and sticking by it, but Sara, you know yourself that it's very difficult to do that. और इसके अलावा भी आपने कहा आप सोचती हैं आप बुरा दिन गुजरा अगले दिन क्या करेंगी, but कुछ चीज ऐसी होती है जो कुछ keeps you going. I can understand it's your attitude, but sometimes you are so down that you don't know how to get, especially जब schedule बर्बाद हो जाता है. तो I can understand क्या होता है. तो उस टाइम पे सारा कैसी होती है, कैसे मैनेज करती है, what keeps you going? I really want to know that.
I think this is something that I've learned actually from my co-founder. I used to be a person जिसको अगर जिसका अगर दिन नहीं गुजरा उसके schedule के हिसाब से, तो I would panic and I would not know how to figure it out. But I think with time I've learned that again, everything has a solution. Nothing changes if you're 10 minutes late. Security first, health first, family first. If I had to choose any day between family and work, I would choose family that day, because work I can still come back to in the night, but that time with family will never come back again. So I think prioritizing is also important.
Yes.
Letting go is also important.
Yes.
Not being good at everything is also important. कभी कभार आपको चीज जल्दी करनी पड़ती है और वो इतनी अच्छी नहीं हो पाती. Someday your kids will not be the best dressed kids in school. Someday they will not finish their homework. Someday you will not be called the best mama. Someday you will deliver a pitch and it will go bad because आपकी तैयारी नहीं हुई. And it is okay, because you will get a second chance in life. The more important thing is that at the end of the day, are you doing what makes you happy? मैं ये 2-3 दफा बोल चुकी हूँ. मैंने अपनी टेड टॉक में बोला था, मुझे अपने काम से इश्क है, और मैं अपने हस्बैंड से कहती हूँ कि शुक्र करो कि मुझे सिर्फ तुमसे और अपने वालिदैन से और अपने काम से और अपने बच्चों से इश्क है. तो इसमें किसी और की जगह नहीं बची अब कुछ करने के लिए. Because I've loved my work, and every day what keeps me going is कि जब मैं सब कुछ करके, and my day starts at 6 AM और मैं 9 बजे ऑफिस पहुंचती हूँ, और उस वक्त तक मुझे लगता है कि मेरा आधा दिन गुजर चुका है managing children at the back just to reach office. लेकिन जब मैं ऑफिस पहुंचती हूँ, so I have this feeling of happiness कि अब मैं काम करूँगी. I'll meet my team, I'll do my work, I'll progress something, I'll finish a task, I'll finish a deadline. And every day I come back with the same feeling, whether it's been a disastrous day, whether it's been a happy day. And every day I go back with the same feeling. Even if the worst has happened the last day, I will go back with a smile at my face. And that's only because there is something inside me that is very deeply connected to Sehat Kahani. And it's not growing old. As love doesn't grow old, it just becomes better. So if you have that feeling for something in your life, you will keep going at it, even when things are falling around you, when disasters are happening in personal professional life and balances are out, you will keep on going towards it and you will find solutions in that particular day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dr. Sara, you were not working for 1 year. I remember that, and थोड़ी consultation आपकी चल रही थी. I remember when I took a career break, it was also around 8 months time. But when I came back to work, I actually struggled with it. You eventually you get the hang of it, but मुझे बहुत difficulty हुई. तो जो ख़वातीन, you know, they for some reason they are not working, they're not back at their workplaces, वो कुछ भी नहीं कर पा रही, and to them now doing something seems like a momentous task. तो उनके लिए आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? क्या advice देंगी? Maybe something from your life, personal life.
I think the first step is always difficult. I've had this issue twice. पहली दफा जब मैंने काम शुरू किया एक ब्रेक के बाद, उस वक्त तो मुझे कुछ भी नहीं पता था, starting from A. तो उस वक्त इतना फेलियर का डर नहीं था. लेकिन ये दूसरी दफा और मोर प्रोमिनेंटली मेरी लाइफ में हुआ when I took a break after my second child. जब मैं अपनी maternity से वापस आ रही थी after a month or a couple of months. उस वक्त मुझे लगा कि यार how will I be able to cope up with 2 children, with a newborn, with a scaling company, with a degree going on. और मुझे लगा कि शायद मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी. I won't be able to last a day at office. I'll crumble under the pressure of having too many responsibilities. But एक चीज जो मैंने और मेरी co-founder ने हमेशा ये सीखी है कि the first day is always difficult. The first step is always difficult. When you pass that first step, when you pass that first day, you figure out what to do the next day and the next day and the next day. So anyone who's struggling at home, I would say just take that first step. And it doesn't have to be a big step. It has to be a small step. अगर आप काम नहीं करें, आप online काम करना शुरू करें, आप part time काम करना शुरू करें, आप freelance काम करना शुरू करें. But do something for yourself. When you do something for yourself, it gives you 3 things. It gives you financial independence. Financial independence gives you personal and social independence. अपने पैसे कमाने की जो एक value है, that value is inexplainable in words. The ability to find something for yourself in your shop and to pay for it with your own money. So many women in life do not have that liberty in Pakistan.
Yes.
वो हमेशा किसी और का पैसा खर्च करती हैं, अपने हस्बैंड का, अपने बेटे का, अपने शौहर का. अगर आप उनसे पूछे तो उनकी जिंदगी में ख्वाहिश होती है कि हम अपना पैसा यूज कर सकें, कहीं पे हमें किसी को आंसर ना करना पड़े.
लेकिन वो लोग कहते हैं ना, जो आपने कहा कि प्री कंसीव नोशन के साथ हम बड़े होते हैं, तो हमें सोने तो दिए जाते हैं, जहेज दिए जाते हैं, लेकिन हमें ये कहा जाता है कि नौकरी करेंगी, पैसा कमाएंगी तो ये बराबरी करेंगी, दिमाग खराब हो जाएगा, घर खराब हो जाएंगे. ये भी तो बहुत सारे थॉट्स होते हैं ना.
देखिए, घर तो अगर मैं बात ना करूं वेस्टर्न कल्चर की, घर तो बांग्लादेश में भी चल रहे हैं. एंड द रीजन व्हाई if you take out one of the sole reasons why the economy has boomed is because both women and men in the economy work in a household. घर तो इंडिया में भी चल रहे हैं, घर तो श्रीलंका में भी चलते हैं, सारी लो इनकम कम्युनिटीज में चलते हैं. घर चलाने के लिए you don't need a person sitting at home 24/7. घर चलता है when people are happy in a household. अगर आप उसका social aspect देखें तो घर चलता है when people are happy, और घर चलता है when you have enough to feed your family.
Absolutely.
When a couple works, when a husband wife works, they create enough money to take care of their child, and when they are happy, they're able to take care of that family. I'm not saying that everyone has the privilege to go out of the house as work. Some people have children, वो किसी पे नहीं छोड़ सकते, कुछ को नहीं privilege होता कि वो maids afford कर सकें या help afford कर सकें या जिनके grandparents alive हों. But again, today physicality of work is secondary. जितनी डॉक्टर सेहत कहानी पे काम कर रही हैं, they are not getting out of their houses. Just today there was a doctor in my office जो लाहौर में रहती है और वो शाम में काम करती है. वो कराची आई हुई है अपने पेरेंट्स के पास समर हॉलीडेज में, और वो दिन में काम कर रही है. So she is still working without a hindrance. All you need is a laptop, an internet device, and the will to work every day. The will to come back to work every day. And there's so many opportunities online as well. Nature of work badal gaya hai. People are working from Pakistan into companies abroad without ever going into their offices. So if you want to explore something, just give yourself the opportunity to start small, but do start for yourself. It will go a long way. I think a lot of women in Pakistan, when they come to their middle ages, जब बच्चे बड़े हो जाते हैं, जब husband भी बूढ़े हो जाते हैं, वो खुद भी middle age पहुंचती हैं, I think they go into an identity crisis because they think that they're not useful anymore. Because the prime people that needed them, their children, have grown up, and now they don't want them around all the time.
Absolutely.
I've seen women very close to me suffer from that. So you need to do something for yourself, big or small. by choice, for fun, for financial reasons, but do create some identity for yourself to fall back on. I think it will go a long.
Yeah, do create some personal identity, whatever it is. If even if you're happy as a stay-at-home mom, that's totally up to you. But if you want to do something, the avenue is out there. You should go and get it. Dr. Sara, you speak with a lot of admiration and respect for your co-founder. Usually, it is said that women they don't get along. I know you might be thinking कि बिस्मा क्या बातें कर रही थी पुराने ज़माने की, but they still exist. And people do say कि आज भी कहा तो जाता है, अब कितना सच है वो तो मैं आपसे पूछूंगी, और आप जैसे अमेजिंग स्पीकर से मैं पूछती आई हूँ कि जी खातून की सबसे बड़ी दुश्मन उसकी खातून होती है, चाहे डोमेस्टिक सेटअप में देखें चाहे वर्क में देखें, आपका क्या टेक है इसके ऊपर?
आई थिंक किसी भी इंसान की सबसे बड़ी कमजोरी उसकी अपनी इनसिक्योरिटी होती है. When you're insecure within yourself, when you have low self-worth, I think that is when all the elements of maybe jealousy or competition develop for anyone. Between me and my co-founder, when we started the company, we weren't the best of friends. We became co-founder first, but between her and I, there's an immense bond of respect. And because she has also 2 children of the same age as me, she has 2 daughters the same as me. I think we are in very similar circumstances in life, and she and I really understand each other. अगर मैं किसी दिन अवेलेबल नहीं हूँ तो मुझे पता है कि अगर मेरी कोई इमरजेंसी है तो मैं अगर रात के 2 बजे भी उसको कॉल करके कहूँगी कि कल तुमने मीटिंग करनी है और मुझे मना नहीं करेगी, एंड वाइस वर्सा. हम ट्रैवल करते हैं तो एक दफ़ा वो ट्रैवल करती है, एक दफ़ा मैं ट्रैवल करती हूँ, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि ज़्यादा ट्रैवल हम नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज ऑफ आवर चिल्ड्रन. तो आई थिंक देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ म्यूचुअल रिस्पेक्ट, देयर इज अ डीप बॉन्ड ऑफ फ्रेंडशिप नाउ. She's like my sister.
So how do you handle difference of opinions? वो तो होते होंगे ना, despite your similar.
नहीं, बिल्कुल होते हैं, और शुरू में काफी हीटेड भी होते थे क्योंकि हम यंग होते थे और जज्बाती होते थे. टाइम वी रियलाइज कि यार हमने आपस में सॉल्व करना है. और एक चीज हमें हमेशा रही है which is I really admire, कि चाहे हमारे बीच में जितना भी बुरा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हुआ हो, हम एक दूसरे से बात ना कर रहे हो, कभी कभार ऐसा होता है ना, बहुत ज्यादा झगड़ा बढ़ जाता है, we will still come to work, we will sit in the same room, we will still do meetings together, we will still communicate about work, we will be angry at each other for some personal thing, but we will still respect the work. क्योंकि देखो बिस्मा, we have given 7 years to this company now. We have given our क्या कहते हैं, our prime years to this company now. We have given years of this company when our children was growing up. So we can't afford to fail. We have to make this a success. We have to keep growing. We have to take it to the next level. We have to go international. We have big dreams. And our relationship, and the biggest strength in our company is the relationship that me and my co-founder have, कि हम एक दूसरे को समझते हैं और compliment करते हैं. So we think that our bond is very important, and we both value the skills that we bring to business, and also the shortcomings. जो मेरी shortcoming है वो उसकी नहीं है, जो उसकी है वो मेरी नहीं है, तो हम एक दूसरे के ऐप को भी छुपाते हैं with a lot of work that we do together. But I think one of the एक और चीज है, शायद I don't know दूसरे co-founding relationships में होती है कि नहीं, मैं जब ऑफिस आती हूँ तो मेरा वो बंदा जिससे मैं अपनी घर की सारी वेंटिंग करती हूँ, ना, आपको एक बंदा चाहिए होता है जिससे आप कहते हैं यार घर में ये हो गया, ये हो गया, ये हो गया, इसने मुझे ये बोल दिया. That person is my co-founder. So I share that bond with her, that she's also my friend with my co-founder, and that's why I think we are growing together, and we celebrate each other's success as well. So there's no element of jealousy or competition with her.
Professionalism आ जाता है ना over the time period, और फिर वो आप you learn to
bond of respect. That's it.
You talked about respect. You talked about respect. You talked about relationships. You talked about confidence, trust, professionalism, work first. We can't afford to lose. तो मेरे जहन में आप सारे मैं आपसे जरूर पूछूं कि आपके लिए कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है वर्कप्लेस का, डिग्निफाइड वर्कप्लेस का?
देखिए, I think any workplace that is making you grow from one point to another is respecting you for a person and not just for an employee, but is also seeking accountability. तो both relationships important होती हैं, employee की भी और employer की भी. जहाँ जितने employee के rights हैं उतने employer की भी rights हैं. I've been on both ends of the plate. I've been an employee, and now since a long time an employer. So I think a workplace that helps you grow, gives you opportunity, gives you exposure, keeps you accountable, keeps you safe as a human being, physically and mentally, and invests in you over time is, I think, a good workspace to have. Also, that is, that is inclusive in terms of gender and other means as well. So religious inclusivity, gender inclusivity, inclusivity for special people, inclusivity on religious factors. I think everything is important in a workplace to have.
Dr. Sara, मैं बस briefly आपका इस पे comment चाहूँगी because I know आपने आपका काफी time ले लिया है. Dr. Sara, आप जब हम टेली हेल्थ की बात करते हैं, यकीनन ये concept होगा कि यार ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि डॉक्टर स्क्रीन टू स्क्रीन बैठ के देखे या कॉल पे बात करे और मसला हल हो जाए. डॉक्टर तो भाई फी जब तक नस नहीं पकड़ता, जब तक वो लगाता नहीं है स्टेथोस्कोप, जब तक वो जो खांसने को नहीं कहता, गला चेक नहीं करने को कहता, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? ये अपने एक माइंडसेट जरूर होगा. मुझे लगा ये सवाल जरूर पूछना चाहिए बिकॉज फिर जनरल जस्टिस नहीं हो सकेगा. तो ये फिर माइंडसेट कैसे आपने कैटर किया?
Definitely, that was always a resisting factor. But I think as we have grown the company, we've taught our doctors to become better care providers using history and examination as a key. अगर आप पाकिस्तानी हेल्थ केयर सिस्टम की बात करें तो it is derived from the British healthcare system, which relies more on history and examination, less on testing, because गरीब मुमालिक में टेस्टिंग कितने मौके नहीं होते हैं. So 70 to 80% of the time, with the right history and the right examination, the doctor can find out primary care mein, what are the 2 or 3 disease areas जिससे patient suffer कर रहा है, and that is all what we need to do. We need to figure out what the person is going through at the primary healthcare level, ताकि हम या तो उस डिजीज को उस जगह रोक सकें या पेशेंट को सही जगह गाइड कर सकें. हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे 70 to 80% of the time examination or testing is not required, which is covered by good history. We've diagnosed throat cancers, gallstones, kidney diseases on just the right history and examination. So I'm a very big proponent that primary health care, especially mental health, therapy, special health care, can all be done through telemedicine. इसका प्रूफ ये बात है कि सेहत कहानी के आज 3 business lines हैं. We have our network of clinics in low-income areas. We have 40 clinics, the largest telemedicine clinic chain across Pakistan. We are providing services to 410 corporates through our corporate services. And then we have over 1 million consumers. Last month, we had 140,000 consults on our app, our highest ever, which shows that even after COVID, when OPDs have opened up, when people can go to physical doctors, they're still choosing Sehat Kahani as a provider because हम उनके बहुत सारे issues solve करते हैं. हम उनको physical transport से बचाते हैं, उनको cost effective consultation देते हैं. बहुत सारी ख़वातीन के पास गाड़ी नहीं होती, बहुत सारे geriatric old patients होते हैं जो घर से बाहर नहीं निकल सकते, बहुत सारे mental health patients हैं जो किसी को बता नहीं सकते कि उनको mental health issues है. For all those issues, telemedicine is a savior. We've had a 16-year-old who's called us from the bathroom of his house while his family was outside and he was suicidal. And he talked to a mental health specialist and she helped counsel him not to do suicide and seek therapy. So this is just one of the cases I'm telling you that has happened on the app. We've had a patient who was suffering domestic abuse and she called on the application because she had nowhere to go. So these are very real issues. And I think for all those issues, telemedicine can be a great solution. Especially, सबसे बड़ी बात है, मैं और आप अच्छा डॉक्टर अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं कि हम सिटी में बैठे हैं. एक कम्युनिटी में, गांव में, लोधरा में रहने वाला इंसान वो डॉक्टर क्यों नहीं अफोर्ड कर सकता? क्योंकि उसके पास डिजिटाइजेशन इक्वालिटी क्रिएट करती है, इक्विलिब्रियम क्रिएट करती है कि उस पेशेंट को भी वही डॉक्टर मिल रहा है और आपको मुझको भी वही डॉक्टर मिल रहा है. आई थिंक दिस इज स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ टेलीमेडिसिन एंड ऑफ सर्विसेज ऑफ सेहत कहानी.
Dr. Sara, I would briefly ask you to comment on 3 things. What is empowerment to you? What is women empowerment? And what is the image of an empowered woman in your mind?
I think I'll just take the exam. I'll just wrap it up in one sentence. Any woman who's able to take any decision for herself, whether it's personal, financial, social, without guilt or burdens of society or societal pressures, is an empowered woman. Because I think once we can create that empowered woman who's able to decide for her own self rather than people deciding for her for any issue, I think we'll see a change in how women can deliver, especially in the betterment of our country.
Dr. Saiba, your message to the people who are watching you, especially in consideration that specifically the females who are watching you.
I think to the females who are watching, I think it's a very cliche thing to say, but believe in yourself rather than what others are thinking of you. हम बहुत सारी और मैंने देखा है बहुत सारी औरतें अपने आप को उस तरह जज करती हैं जिस तरह लोग उनके बारे में फील करते हैं, ना कि जैसे वो खुद हैं. So believe in your own self rather than people who are judging you for what you are. Take the first step. Find those failures, learn from them because they're going to make you succeed. And I think for the people who are around women, it takes a village for a woman in a country like Pakistan to be able to progress. So be that village that can help that woman to progress, help her, support her, make her grow, and normalize that a woman can grow for herself also rather than growing her family.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sara. That was really inspiring. I really had questions and I thought, no, I should stick to the schedule and recipe. We have been overboard, but thank you so much. Such an amazing, inspiring story. And you live up to the values which you're talking about. Just meeting you virtually, I can understand, I can actually feel what you have said and I could relate to it. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you.
I hope it went well, and I'm looking forward to the final cutout. And thank you for having me on the show. I think it's a great initiative, and I think we need more like this to celebrate women all across different sectors in Pakistan.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dee.
Thank you very much for watching the video. For more such videos, stay connected with us on our social media pages. Like, share, and subscribe to Red International.